Hello, and welcome back to another Shakespeare stream. Sorry I didn't leave timestamps. I didn't think it would be over an hour long, but here we are. Well, okay, maybe I did think it would be over an hour long, but I did not anticipate how draining the first one would be. Anyways, we're gonna get into the sonnets. All right, we're starting off with Sonnet 78. So oft I have invoked thee for my muse. I have found such fair assistance in my verse, as every alien pen hath got my use, and under the posery disperse. Then I, that taught the dumb on high to sing, and heavy ignorance aloft to fly, have added feathers to the learned wing, and given grace to a double majesty, and yet be more proud of that which I compile, whose influence is thine and born of thee. In others' works thou dost but mend the style, and arts with thy sweet graces graced be. But thou art all my art, and dost advance as high as learning my rude ignorance. Sonnet 79. Whilst I alone did call upon thy aid, my verse alone had all thy gentle grace. But now my gracious numbers are decayed, and my sick muse doth give another place. I grant, sweet love, thy lovely argument deserve travailed of a worthy pen. Yet what does thy poet doth invent, he robs thee of, and pays it thee again. He lends thee virtue, and he stole that word. From thy behaviour beauty doth give, and found it in thy cheek he can afford. No praise to thee but what in thee doth live. Then thank him not for that which he doth say, since what he owes thee thou thyself dost pay. Sonnet 80. Oh, how I faint when I of you do write, knowing a spirit doth use your name, and in praise therefore spend all his might, to make me tongue-tied speaking of your fame. But since your worth wide as the ocean is, the humble as the proudest sail doth bear, my saucy bark, inferior far to his side, on your board main doth wilful appear. Your shallowest help will hold me up afloat, whilst he upon your soundness deep doth ride, or being wrecked I am a worthless boat. He a tall building and of goodly pride, if he thrive and I can be cast away, the worst was this, my love was my decay. Go back up. Hello. Okay. I'm gonna give like a quick hey, we're live to my other platforms real quick. Okay, we're live. Come say hi. And here we go. Okay, sorry. Sorry, I accidentally clicked on TikTok. Okay, back to what we were doing. Sonnet 81. Or shall I live your epitaph to make, or you survive when I in earth am rotten? From hence your memory death cannot take, although in me each part will be forgotten. Your name from hence immortal life shall have. Though I, once gone, to all the world must die, the earth can yield me but a common grave, when you entombed in men's eyes shall lie. Your monument shall be my gentle verse, which eyes not yet created or shall orate overread overread in verse, and tongues to be your shall rehearse. When all the breathers of this world are dead, you still shall live. Such virtue hath my pen, where breath most breaths even in the mouths of men. Sonnet 82. I grant thou wert not married to my muse, and therefore mayst without attain or o'erlook the dedicated words which writers use of their fair subject, blessing every book. Thou art as fair in knowledge and as in hue, finding thy worth as limit past my praise, and therefore art enforced to seek anew some fresher stamp of the time bettering days, and do so love, yet when they diverse, what strained touches rhetoric can lend. Thou truly fair wert truly sympathize in true plain words by thy true telling friend, and their gross painting might be better used, where cheeks need blood, in thee it is abused. Sonnet 83. Hold on. Sorry. We have Baymax here. Baymax. I'll just set Baymax back off to the side. Okay. Sonnet 83. I never saw that you did painting need, and therefore your fair no painting set. I found or thought I found you did exceed that barren tender of poet's debt, and therefore I have slept in your report. That you yourself being extent well might show, how far a modern quill doth come too short. Speaking of worth, what worth in you doth grow, this silence for my sin you did impute. What shall be more my glory being dumb, for eye impaired, not beauty being mute. When others would give life and bring a tomb, there lives more life in one of your fair eyes than both your poets can in praise devise. Sonnet 84. Who is it that says most which can say more? that this rich praise that you alone are you, in whose confine immured is the stone, which should example where you equal grew. Lean punery, lean punery within that pen doth dwell, that to his subject lends not some small glory, but he writes, but he that writes of you, if he can tell that you are you, so dignifies his story. Let him but copy what in you is right, not making worse what nature made so clear. In such a counterpart shall fame his wit, making his style admired everywhere. You to your beauteous blessings add a curse, being fond on praise, which makes you praises worse. Oh, my phone's not being charged. Okay. Sonnet 85. My tongue-tied mused in manners holds her still, while comments of your praise richly compiled reserve their character for with golden quill. And precious praise by all the muses filled. I think good thoughts whilst others write good words, and like unlettered clerk with still cry amen to every hymn that able spirits afford, in polished form of well refined pen. Hearing you praise, I say, 'tis so, 'tis true, and to the most of praise add something more, but that is in my thought, whose love to you. The words must come hindmost, holds his rank before, then others for the breath of words respect, me from my dumb thoughts speaking in effect. Stuff on my phone. Sorry, I have stuff on my phone. Okay. There we go. Okay. Sonnet 86. Was it the proud full sail of his great verse, bound for the prize of all too precious to you, that did my ripe thoughts in my brain inhearse, making their tomb the womb wherein they grew? Was it his spirit by spirits taught to write, above a mortal pitch that struck me dead? No, neither he nor his peers by night, giving him aid, my verse astonished. He nor that affable familiar ghost, which nightly gulls him with intelligence, as victors of my silence cannot boast. I was not sick of any fear from thee hence, but when your countenance fill up his line, then lacked I matter from enfeeble mind. This is lotion. I found the cap. Like a body frosting. There. Sonnet 87. Farewell, thou art too dear for my possessing, and like enough thou knowest thy estimate. The charter of thy worth gives thee releasing. My bonds in thee are all determinate. For how do I hold thee but by thy granting, and for that riches where is my deserving? The cause of this fair gift is in me is wanting, and so my patent back again is swerving. Thyself thou gavest thy own worth, then not knowing, or me to whom thou gavest it, else mistaking. So thy great gift upon misprison growing, come home again on better judgment making. Thus I have had thus have I had thee as a dream doth flatter. In sleep a king, but waking no such matter. Sonnet 88. When thou shalt be disposed to set me light, and place my merit in the eye of the scorn, upon thy side against myself I shall fight. I'll fight. And prove thee virtuous though thou art forsworn. With me my own weakness being best acquainted, upon thy part I can set down a story of faults concealed wherein I am attained, that thou in losing me shalt win much glory. And I by this will be a grain or two, for bending all my loving thoughts on thee, the injuries that to myself I do, doing thee vantage, double vantage me. Such is my love to thee, so I so belong, that for thy right myself will bear all wrong. And we stretch. Trying not to fall off the bit. I don't know why I feel the need to fidget after every sonnet, but here we are. Okay, that was 88, right? That was 88. Okay, yeah. Sonnet 89. Say that thou didst forsake me for some fault, and I will comment upon that offence. Speak of my lameness, and I straight will halt. Against thy reasons making no defence, thou canst not love disgrace me half so ill, to set a form upon desired change, as I'll set myself disgrace knowing thy will. I will acquaintance strangle and look strange, be absent from thy walks and in my tongue. Thy sweet beloved name so no more shall dwell, lest I, too profane, should do it wrong. And haply of our old acquaintance tell, for thee against myself I'll thou debate, for I must ne'er love him whom thou dost hate. Sonnet 90. Then hate me for when thou wilt, if ever now. Now, while the world is bent my deeds to cross, join with the spite of fortune, make me bow, and do not drop in for an after loss. Ah, do not, when my heart hath scraped this sorrow, come in this reward of conquered woe. Give me not a windy night, a rainy morrow. To linger a purpose overthrown, if thou wilt leave me, do not leave me last, when other petty griefs have done their spite. But in the onset come, so shall I taste. At first the very worst of the fortune's might, and others strain of woe, which now seem woe, compared with the loss of thee will not seem so. Sonnet 91. Some glory in their births, some in their skill, some in their wealth, and some in their body's force. Some in their garments through new fragile ill, some in their hawks and hounds, and some in their horse. And every humor hath his adjunct pleasure, where it finds a joy above the rest. but these particles are not my measure. All these I better in one general best. Thy love is better than high birth to me, richer than wealth, prouder than garments cost, of more delight than hawks and horses be, in having thee of all prides men all and having thee of all men's pride I boast, wretched in this alone that thou mayest take all this away and me most wretched make. Sonnet 92. But do thy worst to steal thyself away, for term of life thou art assured mine. In life no longer thy love will stay, for it depends upon the life of thine. Then I need not to fear the worst of wrongs, when in the least of my when in the least of them my life hath end. I see a better state to me belongs, than that which on thy humour doth depend. Thou canst not vex me with inconsistent mind, since that my life on thy revolt doth lie. On what a happy title do I find, happy to have thy love, happy to die. But what's so blessed fair that fears no blot? Thou mayest be false, and yet I know it's not. Sonnet 93. So shall I live, supposing thou art true, like a deceived husband so love's faced, may still seem love to me, though altered anew. Thy looks with me, thy heart in other place, for there cannot live no hatred in thy eye. Therefore, in that I cannot know thy change, in many looks the false heart's history, in right, in moods and frowns, in wrinkled stage strange. But heaven in thy creation did decree that in thy face sweet love should ever dwell. Whatever thy thoughts or thy heart's working be, thy look should nothing thee hints, but sweetness tell. How like Eve's apple doth thy beauty grow, if thy sweet virtue answer not thy show. Sonnet 94. I'm gonna tilt this down a little bit. Go put on some text. Sock number 1. Need another sock. Sorry, I'm looking for a sock. I can't find a matching sock, so I'm just going to put this slipper on. There. Oh, no. Oh, no. Where are we? Okay, we're on Sonnet 94. Okay. Then they that have power to hurt and will do nothing, that do not do the thing that they do show, who moving others are that themselves as stone, unmoved, cold, and to temptation slow, they rightly do inherit heaven's graces, and husband's nature's riches from expense. Tibie are Tibie are the lords and owners of their faces, others but stewards of their excellence. The summer's flower is to the summer's sweet, though to itself it only live and die. But if that flower will base infection meet, the basest weed outbraves his dignity. For sweetest things turn sourest by their deeds. Lilies that fester smell far worse than weeds. On the hunt for a proper sock. Ah, a proper sock. There we go. Proper socks. Okay. Sonnet 95. How sweet and lovely dost thou make the shame, which like a canker in the fragrant rose, doth spot the beauty of thy budding name. Oh, in what sweet dost thou thy sins enclose, that tongue that tells the story of thy days, making lavish comments on thy sport, cannot dispraise but in a kind praise, naming thy blesses and ill report. Oh, what a mansion have those vices got, which for their habitation chose out thee, where beauty's veil doth cover every blot, and all the things turn to fair that eyes can see. Take heed, dear heart, of this large privilege. The hardest knife, ill used, doth lose his edge. Sonnet 96. Some say thy fault is youth and some wansomeness. Some say thy grace is youth and gentle sport. Both grace and faults are loved of more and less. Thou makest false graces that to thee resort. As on the finger of a throned queen, the basest jewel will be well esteemed. So are those errors that in thee are seen, to truths translate and for true things deemed. How many lambs might the stern wolf betray, if like a lamb he could his looks translate? How many gazers mightst thou lend away, if thou wouldst use the strength of all thy state? But do not so. I love thee in such sort, as thou being mine is thy good report. Hope you all can hear me well. Hope I'm saying it loud enough. Okay. Sonnet 97. How like a winter hath my absence been from thee the pleasure of the fleeting year. What freezings have I felt, what dark days seen, what old December's bareness everywhere, and yet this time removed was summer times, the teeming autumn big which with summer increase, bearing the wanton burden of the prime, like widowed wounds after their lord's decease. Yet this abundance issues seem to me but hope of orphans and unfathered fruit. For summer and his pleasure wait on thee, and thou away the very birds are mute. Or if they sing, 'tis with so dull a cheer that leaves look pale, dreading the winter's near. Sonnet 98. From you I have been absent in the spring, from when proud pied April, dressed in all his trim, hath put a spirit of youth in everything. That heavy Saturn laughed and leaped with him. Yet nor the lays of bird, nor the sweet smell of different flowers in odor and in hue, could make me any summer story tell, or from their ploughed lap pluck them where they grew, Nor did I wonder at the lily's white, nor praise the deep vermilion in the rose. They were but sweet, but figures of delight. Drawn after you, you pattern all of those. Yet seemed it winter still, and you away. As with your shadows, as with your shadow, I with these did play. Sonnet 99. The forward violet thus did I chide. Sweet thief, whence didst thou steal thy sweets that smells? If not from my love's breath, the purple pride, which on thy soft cheek for complexions dwell, in my love's veins thou hast too grossly dyed. The lily I condemned for thy hand, and buds of marjoram had stolen thy hair. The roses fearfully on thrones did stand, one blushing shade, another white despair. A third nor red nor white had stolen of both, and to his robbery had annexed thy breath. But for his theft and pride of all his growth, a vengeful canker eat him up to death. Nor flowers I noted yet I none could see, but sweet or color it had stolen from thee. Sonnet 100. Where art thou, muse, that thou forgottest so long to speak of that which gives thee all thy might? Spendest thou thy fury on some worthless song, darkening thy power to lend base subjects light? Return, forgetful muse, and straight redeemed. In gentle numbers time so idly spent, sing to the ears doth thy lays esteem, and gives thy pen both skill and argument. Rise, resty muse, my love's sweet face survey. If time had any wrinkle graven there, if any, be satire to decay, and make time's spoiled despair everywhere. Give my love's fame faster than time wastes life, so thou prevents his scythe and crooked knife. Sonnet 101. O truant muse, what shall thy amends? For thy neglect of truth and beauty died. Both truth and beauty on my love depends. Dost thou too in therein dignify? Make answer, muse, wilt thou not haply say, truth needs no color of his color fixed, beauty no pencil, no beauty's truth to lay. Best is best, if never intermixed, because he needs no praise. Wilt thou be dumb? Excuse not silence so, for lies in thee, to make him much outlived in gilded tomb, and to be praised of ages yet to be. Then to thy office, muse, I teach thee how to make him seem long hence as he shows now. My love strengthened, though more weak in seeming. I love not less, though less the show appear. That love is merchandised, whose rich esteeming the owner's tongue doth publish everything. Doth publish everywhere. Our love was new, and then, but in the spring, when I was wont to greet it with my lays, as Philemon in the summer's froth doth sing, and stops her pipe in growth of the riper days. Not that the summer is less pleasant now, that when her mournful hymns did hush the night, but the wild music burthens every broth, and sweets grown come and loose their dear delight. Therefore, like her, I sometime hold my tongue, because I would not dull you with my song. Sonnet 103. 103. A lack of poverty, what poverty my muse bring forth, that have such a scope to her pride. The argument all bear is more worth than when it hath my added praise beside. Oh, blame me not if no more can write. Look in your glass, and there appears my face, appears a face that overgoes my blunt invention quite, dulling my lines and doing me disgrace, were it not sinful, then striving to mend, to mar the subject that before was well, for to not no other past my verses tend, that than all of your graces and your gifts to tell, and much more than in my verse can sit, your own glass shows when you look in it. Sonnet 104. To me, fair friend, you can never be old, for as you were in for as you were when first your I eyed. Such seemed your beauty still, 3 winters cold have from the forest shook, 3 summers' pride, 3 beauteous springs to yellow autumn turned. In process of the seasons have I seen 3 April perfumed, 3 in June's burned. Since first I saw your fresh which yet are green, yet doth beauty like a dial hand stake from his figure, and no pace perceived. So your sweet hue, which methinks still doth stand, half motion, and mine eye may be deceived. For fearful of which here this thou age unbred, ere you were born was beauty's summer dead. Sonnet 105. Let not my love be called idolatry, nor my beloved as an idle show, since all alike my songs and praises be to one of one, still such and ever so. Kind is my love today, tomorrow kind. Still constant in wondrous excellence. Therefore my verse to stay confined, one expressing leaves difference. Fair, kind, and true is all my argument. Fair, kind, and true, varying to other words, and in this change is my invention spent. 3 themes in one, which wondrous scope affords. Fair, kind, and true have often lived alone, which 3 till now never kept seat in one. Sonnet 106. When in the chronicle of waste time I see descriptions of the fairest right and beauty making beautiful old rhyme, in praise of ladies dead and lovely knights, then in the blazon of the sweet beauty's best, of hand, of foot, of lip, of eye, and brow, I see their antique pen that would have expressed even such a beauty as you master now. So all their praises are but prophecies of this our own time, all your prefiguring, and for they looked but with divining eyes, they had not skill enough for your worth to sing, for we which now behold these present days have eyes to wonder but lack tongues to praise. Sonnet 107. Not mine own fears, nor the prophet soul of the wide world dreaming on things to come, can yet the least of my true love control. Suppose as forfeit to a confined doom, the mortal moon hath her eclipse endured, and the sad arguers mock their own presage. Uncertainties now crown themselves assured, and the peace proclaimed olives of endless age. Now with the drops of this most balmy time, my love looks fresh, and death to me subscribes. Since spite of him I'll live in this poor rhyme, while he insults over dull, speechless times. And thou in this shalt find thy monument, when thy tyrants' crest and tombs of the brass are spent. Sonnet 108. What in this time that ink may character, which hath not figured to thee my true spirit? What's new leak, what now to register, that may express my love or thy dear merit? Nothing, sweet boy, but yet like my prayers divine, I must each every day say over the very same, counting no old thing old, thou mine, I thine. Even when first I hallowed thy fair name, so the eternal love in love's fresh case weighs not the dust and injury of age, nor gives the necessary wrinkles place, but make the antiquity for I his page, finding the first conceit of love thy bread, for where time and outward form would show it dead. Sonnet 108. 108. Sonnet 109. Oh, never say that I was false of heart, though absence seemed my flame to qualify. As easy might I from myself depart, as from my soul which in thy breast doth lie. That is my home of love, and if I have range, like him that travels, I return again, like to the light, just to the time, not with the time exchanged, so that myself bring water for my stain. Never believe, though in my nature reign all frailties that besiege all kinds of blood, that it could so per- preposterously be stained, to leave for nothing all thy sum of good, for nothing this wide universe I call, save thou my rose, and thou art all. Thou art my all. Alas, Sonnet 110. Last, 'tis true, I have gone here and there, and made myself a motley to the view, gored mine own thoughts, what sold cheap what is most dear, made old fences of affections new. Most in it is true that I have looked on truth. A case askance and strangely, but by all above, these blenches gave my heart another youth, and worse essays prove thee my best of love. Now all is done, and what shall have no end. Mine appetite I never more will grind, on newer proof to try an older friend, a god and love to whom I am confined. Then give me welcome, and next heaven the best, even to thy pure and most loving breast. Sonnet 111. Oh, for my sake do you with fortune chide, the guilty goddess of my harmful deeds, that did not better for my life provide, that public means which public manners breeds. There hence comes it that my name receives a brand, and almost thee hence my nature is subdued to what is works in, like the dyer's hand. Pity me then, and wish I were renewed. Whilst, like a willing patient, I will drink potions of seal against my strong infection. No bitterness that I will bitter think, no double pence to correct correction. Pity me then, dear friend, and I assure ye that even that your pity is enough to cure me. Sonnet 112. Your love and pity doth the impression fill, with vulgar scandals stamped upon my brow. For what care I who calls me well and ill? You over you so you overgo so you overgreen my bad, my good allow? You are all my world, all of the world, and I must strive to know my shames and praises from your tongue, none else to me, nor I to none alive. That steeled sense or changes right or wrong, in so profound a scene I throw all care of others' voices that my adder's sense to critic and to flatter spotted are. Mark how with my neglect I do dispense. You are so strongly in my purpose bred, that all the world besides me thinks are dead. Sonnet 113. Since I left you, mine eye is in my mind, and that which governs me to go about doth part his function and partly blind, seems seeming, but effectually is out. For no form delivers to the heart or bird or flower or shape which it doth latch. Of his quick objections hath the mind no part, nor his own visions hold what it doth catch. For see the rudest or gentlest sight, the most sweet favour for deformest creature, the mountain or sea, the day or night, the crow or dove, it shaped them to your feature. Incapable of more, repellent with you, thy most true mind thus maketh mine untrue. Sonnet 114. Or whether doth my mind, being crowned with you, drink up the monarch's plague with this flattery? Or whether shall I say mine eye saith true, in that your love taught is this alchemy, to make of monsters and things in jest, such cherubins, as your sweet self resemble, creating every bad of a perfect best, as fast as objects to his beams assemble. O, 'tis the first, 'tis flattery in my seeing, and my great mind most kingly drinks it up. Mine eye well knows what his gust is gearing, and to his palate doth prepare the cup. If it be poison, it is lesser sin that my mine eye loves it, and doth first begin. Sonnet 115. Those lines that I before have written do lie, even those that said I could not love you dear, yet then in my judgment knew no reason why my most full flame should afterwards burn clear, but reckon time with whose millioned accidents creep in twixt vows and change decree of nights. Tense sacred beauty blunt with the sharpest intents, divert strong minds to the course of alt ring things. Alas, why fearing of time's tyranny, might I not then say, now I love you best, when I was certain o'er certainty, crowning the present, doubting of the rest? Love is a babe, then I might not say so, to give full growth to that which still doth grow. 116. Let me not, to the marriage of true minds, admit the impediments love is not love, which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no, it is an even fixed mark that looks on tempest and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering ring bark, whose worth is unknown although his heart is betaken. Love's not time's fool, though rosary lips and cheeks within his bending sickle compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. If this be ever error, if this be error and upon me proven, I'd never write nor man ever loved, nor no man I ever loved, nor no man ever loved. Sonnet 117. Accuse me thus that I have scanted all, wherein I should your great deserts repay, forgot upon your dearest love to call, whereto all bonds do tie me day and day, that I have frequent been with unknown minds, and given to time your own dearest purchased right, that I have hosted sail all to the winds, which should transport me farthest from your sight. Book both my wilful and errors down, and on just proofs some rise accumulate. Bring within the level from your frown, but shot not at me at your wakened hate. But since my appeals says I did strive to prove the constancy and virtue of your love. And be stretched. Be stretched. Ugh. Okay. Take a sip. Sonnet 118. Like as to make your own appetite more keen, which with eager compounds we our palate urge, as to prevent our maladies unseen, we sicken to shun the sickness when we purge. Even so, being full of your near clothing sweetness, to bitter sauces did I frame my feeding, and sick of welfare found a kind of meekness, to be diseased ere that there was true needing. Thus policy in love to anticipate. The ills that were not grew to faults assured, and brought to medicine a helpful state, which rank of goodness would by ill be cured. But the hence I learn and find the lesson true. Drugs poison him that feels sick of you. 119. What poisons have I drunk of siren tears, distilled from limbrick foul as hell within, applying fears to hope and hopes to fears, still losing when I saw myself to win? What wretched errors hath my heart committed, whilst hath thought itself so blessed? Never. How have mine eyes out of their spheres been fitted? In the distraction of this mating fever, O benefit of ill, now I find true, that better is by evil still made better. That better is by evil still made better. And ruin love, which when it is built anew, grows fairer than at first, more strong, far greater. So I return rebuked to my content, and gain by ills that thrice more than I have spent. Sonnet 120. That you were once unkind befriends me now, and for that sorrow which I then did feel, needs must I under transgression bow, unless my nervous were brash or hammered steel, for it were my unkindness shaken, as I by yours ye have passed a hell of a time, and I a tyrant have no leisure taken to weigh how once I suffered in your crime. Oh, that our night of woe might have remembered my deepest sense of how hard true sorrow hits, as soon as you and soon to you as you to me then tendered. The humbled slave salve, which wounded bosoms fit, but that trespass now becomes a fee. 9 ransoms yours, and yours must ransom me. How many more sonnets do we have? Let's see. There's 154 and 121. Oh, we got like 33 left. Wild. Sonnet 121. 'Tis better to be vile than vile esteemed, when not to be receives reproach of being, and the just pleasure lost, which is so deemed, not by our feeling, but our others seeing. For why should others false adulterate eyes give salutation to my sportive blood? Or on my frailties, on why frailer spies, which is in their wills count bad, which what I think good? No, I am that I am, and they that level at my abuses reckon upon their own. I may be straight, though they themselves be beheveled. By their ranks thoughts my deeds must not be shown, unless this general evil they maintain. All men are bad, and their badness reign. And in their badness reign. Sonnet 122. Thy gift, thy tables are within my brain, full charactered with lasting memory, which shall above an idle rank remain, beyond all date, even to eternity, or at last so long as brain and heart have factually by nature to subsist, till each to raised oblivion yield to his part. Of thee thy record never can be missed. That poor Röntgen that could not so much hold, nor need I tallies thy dear love to scorn. Therefore to give them from me I was bold, to trust those tables that receive thee mourn, to keep an adjunct to remember thee, were to import forgetfulness in me. Sonnet 123. No, time thou shalt not boast that I do change. Thy pyramid built up with newer might, to me are nothing novel, nothing strange. There are but dressings of former sight. Our dates are brief, and therefore we admire what thou dost foist upon us that is old, and rather make them born to our desire, than think that we before have heard them told. Thy register and thee both defy, no wondering at the present nor the past, for thy records in what we see doth lie, made more or less thy continual haste. This I do vow, and this I shall ever be. I will be true despite thy scythe in thee. And we stretch, and we stretch, and we stretch. Sonnet 124. If my dear love were but the child of state, it might be for fortune's bastard be unfathered, as subject to time's love or to time's hate, weeds among weeds, or flowers with flowers gathered. No, it was built from afar, from accident. It suffers not in smiling pomp, nor falls under the blow of trailed discontent. Where thou inviting time our fashion calls, it fears not policy that Herrick which works on leases of short-numbered hours, but all alone stand hugely politic, that eye nor grows with heat nor drowns with showers. To this I witness call the fools of time, which die for goodness, who have lived for crime. Sonnet 125. We're taught to me Weren't aught to me I bore the canopy, with my extreme the outward honouring, or laid great base for eternity, which proves more short than waste or ruining. Have I not seen dwellers on form or favour lose all and more by paying too much rent? For compound sweet foregoing simple savour, pitiful thrivers in their gazing spent. No, let me be obsequious in thy heart, and take thou my oblate, poor but free, which is not mixed with seconds, knows not art, but mutual rendered for only me, for thee. Hence be thou suborn informer, a true soul, when most impeached stands least in thy control. Sonnet 126. O thou, my lovely boy, who in thy power doth hold time's fickle glass in his fickle hour, who hast by waning grown, and therein showest thy lover's withering as thy sweet self growest, if nature's souvenir mistress over rack, as thou goest onwards with still will pluck thee back. She keeps thee to this purpose that her skill may time disgrace and wretched minutes kill. Yet fear her, O thou minion of her pleasure. She may detain, but not skill keep her treasure. Her ought, though delayed, answered must be, and her quintus is to render thee. 127. In old age black was not counted fair, or if it were to be bore not beauty's name, but not in black beauty's successful hair, in beauty slandered with a bastard shame. For since each hand hath put nature's power, fairing the foul with art's false borrowed face, sweet beauty hath no name, no holy bower, but is profane, if not lives in disgrace. Therefore my mistress' eyes are raven black, her eyes so suited they in the mourner seem, at such who not born fair no beauty lack, slandering creature with a false esteem, yet so they mourn becoming their woe, that every tongue says beauty should look so. Alright, so we have 154 minus, we're on 128. We have 26 more. My laptop's in the battery, so I need to plug it in real quick. Put that in, and what's my phone doing? Phone's doing fine. Okay. Sonnet 128. How oft when thou my music playest upon thy blessed wood whose motion sound with thy sweet fingers, when thou gentlest sway the weary concord that my mind ear confines, do I envy those jacks that nimble leap to kiss the tender inward of thy hand, whilst my poor lips which should that harvest reap at the wood's boldest by thee blushing stand, to be so tickled that they would change their state in the situation with those dancing chips, o'er whom thy fingers walk in gentlest gait, making dead wood more blessed than living lips, since the saucy jack's so happy in this. Give them thy fingers and me thy lips to kiss. Sonnet 129. Thy expense of spirit and waste of shame is lust in action, and till action lust is perjured, murderous, bloody, full of blame, savage, extreme, rude, cruel, not to trust. Enjoy no sooner, but despaired, despised, straight. Past reason hunted and no sooner had. Past reason hated as swallowed bait, on purpose laid to make the taker mad in pursuit and in possession so, had having an inquest and to have extreme, a bliss and proof improved, in a very woe. Before a joy proposed behind a dream, all this the world well knows, yet none know well, to shun the heaven that leads men to this hell. Okay. Sonnet 123. 130. My mistress' eyes are nothing like the sun. Coral is far more red than her lips red. If snow be white, then why then her breasts are dune. If her hairs be wired, black wires grow on her head. I have roses that I have seen roses damasked red and white, and no such roses I see in her cheeks, and in some perfumes is there more delight than in the breath that from my mistress reeks. I love to hear her speak, yet well I know that music hath a far more pleasing sound. I grant I never saw a goddess go. My mistress when she walks treads on the ground, and yet by heaven I think my love as rare as she belied with false compare. Sonnet 131. Thou art as tyrannous as thou art, as those with whose beauty proudly makes them cruel. For well thou knowest to my dear doting heart, thou art the fairest, more precious jewel. Yet in good faith some say that thee behold, thy face hath not the power to make love groan. To say they err, I dare not be so bold. Although they erred, I dare not be so bold, although I swear it to myself alone, and to be sure that is not false, I swear. A thousand groans not make but thinking on thy face, one on another's neck to witness bear. Thy black is fairest in my judgment's place, and nothing art thou black save in thy deeds. In thee hence this slander, as I think proceeds. Sonnet 132. Thine eyes I love, and they, as pitying me, knowing thy heart torment with disdain, have put on black unloving mourners be, looking with pretty ruth upon my pain, and truly not the morning sun of heaven, better become the grey cheeks of the east, nor the full stars of the ushers that ushers in the even doth hath the glory to the sober west, as those two morning eyes become thy face. O let it then as well be seen thy heart to mourn for me seen mourning doth thee grace, and suit thy pity like in every part. Then will I swear beauty herself in black, and all they foul that thy complexion lack. I stretch. You stretch. Sonnet 133. Beshrew that heart that makes my heart to groan, for that deep wound it gives my friend and me. It's not enough to torture me alone, but slave to slavery my sweetest friend must be. Me for myself thy cruel eye hath taken, and myself thou harder hast engrossed. Of him myself in thee I am forsaken. A torment thrice threefold thus to be crossed. Prison my heart in thy steel bosom's ward. But then my friend's heart let my poor heart fail. Whoever keeps me, let my heart be his guard. Thou canst not then use rigor in my gowl, yet thou wilt, for I pent in thee, perforce am thine in all that is in me. Sonnet 134. So now I have confessed that he is thine, and I myself a mortgage to thy will. Myself I'll forfeit, so that other mine thou wilt restore to my comfort still. But thou wilt, nor he will be free, for thou art coverest, and he is kind. He learned but surely like to write for me, under that bond that him as thou doth bind. That statue of thy beauty thou wilt take, thou usurer that puttest forth all the use, and sue a friend that came debtor for my sake, and so him I lose through my unkind abuse. Him have I lost, that thou hast both him and me. He pays the whole, yet I am not free. Am I not free? Sonnet 135. Whoever hath her with thou haste thy will, and will to boot, and will in overplus. Pulse plus. Moreover, more than enough am I the vex thee still, to thee thy sweet will making addition thus. Wilt thou whose will is large and spacious, not vouchsafe to hide my will in thine. Thine in others seem right gracious. In my will no fair exempted shine. The sea all water yet receives rain still, and abundance addeth to his story. So thou, being rich in will, add to thy will. One will of mine will make thy will more, thy large will more. Let no unkind, no fair besearch kill. Think all but one, and me in that one will. Sonnet 136. If thy soul check thee that I come so near, swear to thy soul, thy blind soul, that I was thy will, and will thy soul know I soul's know is admitted there. Thus far for love my love sweet fulfill, will fulfill the treasure of thy love. Fill it with full with wills, and my will's one. In things of great receipt with case we prove, among a number one is reckoned and none. Then in the number let me pass untold, though in thy store's account I one must be, for nothing hold me, so it please thee hold, that nothing me something sweet to thee, Nick but my name that love and love that still, and then thou lovest me for my name is will. Sonnet 137. Thou blind fool, love, what dost thou to mine eyes? What that they behold and see not what they see. They know what beauty is and see where it lies, yet what the best is take the worst to be. If thou's corrupt by over partial looks, be anchored in the bay where all the men ride, why of eyes falsehood hast thou forged hooks, whereto the judgment of my heart is tied? What should my heart think that a several plot, which my heart knows that the wide world commonplace, or mine eye seeing this, say this is not, to put fair truth upon so foul a face, and things right true my heart and eyes have erred, and to this false plague are they now transferred. All right, let's see. We are on 138. So we got 16 more. All right. Sonnet 138. When my love swears that she is made of truth, I do believe her, though I know she lies. That she might think me some untutored youth, unlearned in her world's false subtleties, thus vainly thinking that she thinks me young, although she knows my days are past the best. Simply I credit her false-speaking tongue. On both sides thus is simple truth suppressed. Wherefore she says she not is she unjust, and wherefore say I not I that I am old. O love's best habit is in seeming truth, and age in love loves not to have years told. Therefore I lie with her, and she with me, and in our false lies we flattered be. I don't know why I feel the need to stretch every time. Okay. 139. Oh, call not me to justify the wrong that thy kindness lays upon my heart. Wound me not with thine eye, but with thy tongue. Sorry. Use power with power, and slay me not by art, till thou lovest elsewhere in my sight. Dear heart, forbear to glance thine eye aside. What needest thou wound with cunning when thy might is more than my oppressed defense can bide? Let me excuse thee, ah, my love well knows. Her pretty looks have been mine enemies, and therefore from my face she turns my foes. She turns my foes, that they elsewhere might dart their injuries, yet do not so, since I am near slain. Kill me outright with looks, and rid my pain. Sonnet 140. Be wise as thou art cruel, and do not press my tongue-tied patience with too much disdain. Least sorrow lends me words, and words express the manner of my pity wanting pain. If I might teach thee with the wit better it were, though not to love, yet love to tell me so, as testy sick men where their deaths be near, no news but health from physicians know. For if I should despair, should I grow mad, and in my madness might speak ill of thee. Now this ill wrestling world is grown so bad, mad slanders by mad ears believed to be, that I may not be so, nor be lied. Bear thine eyes straight, though thy proud heart goes wide. Sonnet 141. And fair I do not love thee with mine eyes, for they in thee a thousand errors note. 'Tis but 'tis my heart that loves what thee despise, who in despite view is pleased to dot, nor are mine cars with thy tongue's tuned delight, nor tender feeling to base touches prone, nor taste nor smell desire to be invited for any sensual feast with thee alone, but my five wits nor my five senses can dispute one foolish heart of serving thee, who leaves unswayed the likeness of man. Thy proud heart's slave and vassal wretched to be, one only my plague thus far I count my gain, that she that makes me sin, afterwards she awards me pain. Sonnet 142. Love is my sin, and thy dear virtue hate. Hate of my sin, grounded of my sinful loving. Oh, but with me compare thou thine own state, and thou shalt find it merits not reproving, or if it do, not from those lips of thine that have profaned their scarlet ornaments, and sealed false bonds of love oft as mine, robbed others' beds revenues of their rents. Be it lawful I love thee as thou lovest those whom thine eyes woo as mine, and importune the root pity in thy heart, that when it grows, thy pity may deserve to pity pitied be. If thou dost seek to have thee what thou dost hide, thy example mayest thou be denied. Okay, we're almost there. You got like 11 left. Sonnet 143. Lo, as careful as hushed wife runs to catch one of her feather creatures broke away, sets down her babe and makes all swift dispatch in pursuit of the thing she would have to stay, whilst her neglected child holds her in chase, cries to catch her with whose busy care is bent, to follow that which flies before her face, not prizing her poor infant's discontent. So runnest thou after that flies from thee, whilst I, thy babe, chase after thee afar behind. But if thou catch, thy hope turns back to me, and play the mother's part, kiss me, and be kind. So will I pray that thou mayst have thy will, if thou turn back my loud crying still. Sonnet 144. Two loves I have to have of comfort and despair, for which of two spirits do suggest me still. The better angel is a man right fair, the worser spirit a woman colored ill. To win me soon to hell, my female evil tempted my better angel from my side, and would corrupt my saint to be devil, willing his purity with her foul pride, and whether that my angel be turned fiend, suspect I may yet not directly tell, but being both from me and both to each friend, I guess one angel in another's hell. Yet this shall I ne'er know, live in doubt, till my bad angel fire my good one out. All right. 145. Sonnet 145. Those lips that love's own hand did make, breath forth the sound that I said I hate. To to me the languished for her sake, but when she saw my woeful state, straight in her heart did mercy come, chiding that tongue that ever sweet was used in giving gentle doom, and taught it thus anew to greet. I hate she altered with an end that followed it as gentle day doth night, whose fiend from heaven to hell is flown away. I hate from hate away she threw, and saving my life, saying not and saved my life, saying not you. Sonnet 146. Poor soul, the sentry of my sinful earth of these rebels' powers array. Why dost thou pine within and suffer, dearest? Painting thy outward walls so costly gay, why so large cost having so short a lease? Dost thou upon thy fading mansion spend? Shall worms and heresies of this extent eat up thy charge in thy body's end? Then so live thou upon thy servant's loss, and let that pine to aggravate thy store, by terms divine in selling hours for of dross, within to be fed, without be so rich no more. So shalt thou feed on death that feeds on men, and death once dead, there no more dying then. Sonnet 147. My love is a fever longing still for that which longer nurses the disease, feeding on that which doth preserve the ill, the uncertain sickly appetite to please. My reason to the physician, to my love, angry that his prescriptions are not kept, hath left me and desperate now approve. Desire is death, which is psyche did expect. Past cure I am now My reason is past care, and a frantic mad with ever more unrest. My thoughts and my disclose as mad men's are, at random from truth vainly express. I have sworn thee fair and brought thee bright, who art as black as hell, as dark as night. Okay, almost done. I think we got 6 left. All right, we got this, by next. Sorry. Sonnet 148. Oh me, what eyes hath love put in mine head, which have no correspondence with true sight, or if they have, wherein my judgment fled. That's censures falsely what they seen all right. If that be fair whereon on my false eyes dot, what means the world to say it is not so? If it be not, then love doth so well denote. Love's eyes is not so true as all men's know. How can it, how can love's eye be true, that is so vexed with watching and with tears? No marvel then, though I mistake my view. The sun is set itself seems not, till heaven clears. O cunning love, with tears thou keeps me blind, least well seeing thy foul faults should find. Sonnet 149. Canst thou, O so cruel, say I love thee not? When I against myself with thee partake, do I not think of thee when I forgot? Am I myself all tyrant for thy sake? Who hated thee that I do call my friend? On whomst I frownest thou that I do fawn upon? Nay, I say thou lurest on me, do I not spend revenge upon myself with present moan? What merit do I in myself that is so proud that thy service to despair, when all my best doth worship thy defect, commanded by the motion of thy eyes, but love hate on for now I know thy mind. Those that can see thou lovest, and I am blind. Sonnet 150. Oh, for what powers has thou this powerful might, with sufferance my heart to sway, to make me give the lie to my true sight, and swear that the brightness doth grace the day? When hast thou this becoming of things ill, that in this very refuse of thy deeds there is such a strength and warranties of skill, that in my mind thy worst be all best exceeds? Who taught thee how to make me love thee more, the more I hear and see, just 'cause of hate? Although I love whatever do abhor, with others shouldst not abhor my state. If thy unworthiness raise love in me, nor worthy I to be loved of thee. Sonnet 151. Love is too young to know what conscious is, yet who knows what conscious is born of love? Then, gentle cheater, urge not amiss, less guilty of my faults thy sweet self prove. For thou portraying me, I do portray my nobler part to my gross body's treason. My soul doth tell my body that he may triumph in love. Flesh stays no farther reason, but rising at thy name doth point thee. At his triumphant prize, proud of this pride, he is content thy poor druid to be, to stand in thy affairs, fall by thy side. No want of conscience hold it that I call her love, for whom dear I love, I rise and fall. Sonnet 152. In loving thee, I knowest I am forsworn, and thou art twice forsworn to me, love swearing. In act thy bed vow broke, and new faith torn, in vowing new hate after new love bearing. But why of two oaths breached do I accuse thee? When I break 20, I am perjured more. For all of my vows are oath but to misuse thee, and all my honest faith in thee is lost. For I have sworn deep oaths of thy deep kindness, oath of thy love, thy truth, thy constancy, consistency. No, it's not constancy. And to enlighten thee gave eyes to blindness, or make them swear against the thing they see. For I have sworn thee, more perjured I, to swear against the truth so foul a be. Sonnet 153. Second to last one, people. All right. Cupid laid his brand and fell asleep. A maid of Dian's advantage found. Hello. I have like 2 more left.
Okay.
What you need?
Well, you've been reading for over an hour. I was worried.
Oh, well, I have 2 left. Love you. Sonnet 153. Cupid laid his brand and fell asleep. A maid of Danes this disadvantage found, and his love kindling fire did quickly steep in a cold valley fountain of that ground, which borrowed from this holy fire of love a dateless lively heat still to endure, a grued a seething bath which yet men prove against the strange maladies of a souvenir cure. But at my mistress' eyes, love love's brands new fire. The boy for trial needs would not touch my breast. I sick withhold the help of bath desired, and thither heed a sad distempered guest, but found no cure. The bath for my help lies, where Cupid got new fire, my mistress' eyes. Very last sonnet, Sonnet 154. The little love god, lying once asleep, laid by his side his heart inflaming brand, whilst many nymphs that vowed chaste life to keep came tripping by, but in her maiden hands the fairest Vortade took up that fire, which may legions of true hearts have warmed, and so the general of hot desire was sleeping by a virgin's hand disarmed. This brand she quenched in a cool well by, which from love's fire took heat perpetual, growing a bath and healthful remedy for all men's disgrace, but my mistress thrall. I came there for a cure, and this by that I prove. Love's fire heats water, water cools not love. And that is the end of all the sonnets. I have read all of Shakespeare's sonnets. So thank you all so much for watching, and thank you if you saw the other one as well. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and let me know down in the comments what you would like to see next. This is Katie Ross, signing off. Boop. And end stream.